Well, my manager didn't get us signed up, so we're waiting until the fall. But I am subbing tonight, so I figured if I'm going to put clothes on, I might as well put my jersey on because I don't plan on doing anything else until then. So,
I played in a league last year, but then my buddy who I was playing with went off to med school, so now I have no team.
We should start up Bring Me the News team.
Bring me the sports team with like 5 of us.
Let's go.
I want to play. Softball's fun as hell.
Dude, I love it. Yeah.
I don't have enough friends.
Yeah, me either. We can be friends, Will.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
This is the saddest way to open a show ever.
I should modify that and say I don't have enough friends who still live in Minnesota. I have friends in other places as well. Many of them in Chicago.
I believe you, Will. Don't worry.
Guys, happy schedule day. I know you guys look forward and anticipate this day highly among all other sports days on the sports calendar. The NFL schedule released tonight because the NFL has to make a grand show out of just about everything they do, and the schedule has become one of them. They'll have a 4-hour show breaking it all down, and we're already starting to get leaks and rumors. We've been getting those for the past couple days. So let's jump into it. Let's get your initial thoughts. Will, I'll start with you. On some of the rumors we've seen so far, we already know it's been confirmed. Back-to-back international games. That was confirmed yesterday against the Steelers and the Browns in week 4 and 5. First in Ireland, then in England. Your thoughts on kind of the rumors that we've seen and how the schedule's kind of shaking out so far?
Yeah, we're still waiting to see a lot of it, but big one today, the Vikings will host the Lions on Christmas Day on a Thursday game that I think is apparently going to be on Netflix, so that'll be interesting and probably annoying for a lot of people who won't realize that until the day of, and then they'll have to like reactivate their Netflix account or get one or something along those lines. But that'll be a lot of eyes on that. The NBA had always been the Christmas Day league, and then the NFL, I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago, was like, hey, what if we do this too? And then of course just blows the NBA's ratings out of the water because it's the NFL. So that'll be a big one. Vikings not playing on Thanksgiving, as was briefly rumored. And I think there's also a rumor that they might be playing on a Thursday night against the Chargers in the J.J. McCarthy, Jim Harbaugh affair. So,
just saw one coming down the pipeline too here. There's a guy in Atlanta.
Live reaction.
Yeah, a TV reporter has reported that from Atlanta that the Falcons will have 2 Sunday night games, and one of them will be on the road against the Vikings. Doesn't say when, but that would mean Michael Penix and the Atlanta Falcons, and probably not Kirk Cousins, coming back to Minnesota again.
Yeah, that would be quite the primetime one. Probably not Kirk, but still, I mean, McCarthy against Penix, 2 of the top 10 picks in last year's draft. Penix kind of shockingly and controversially taken before McCarthy. So that'll be another good one. So that gives us at least 3-ish primetime games if you're counting Christmas Day, or like maybe standalone games if you want to call them. And I guess there'll be standalone games at 8:30 in the morning Central Time when they play the 2 international ones too. So.
Hey, are those international games? I can't remember. Do our local channels cover that, or do you have to have NFL Network? I think the local channels.
I think it's on local.
They cover them on. They simulcast it on
Okay.
Fox 9 or Care 11.
Yeah.
Or
I couldn't remember because I was thinking we're going to have to do a story probably on Vikings on SI about all of the different subscriptions you're going to need to watch every Vikings game in 2025.
Yeah, that may still be
how much it's going to cost you to watch the Vikings this season.
Right.
Yeah, hopefully they don't get like a Peacock game too. But
I'm sure it'll happen. I mean,
Tony loves Peacock.
Paramount Plus, Vikings, Dolphins. They don't play the Dolphins this year. But
Amazon Prime. You got to go to Amazon Prime for at least one of them. Tony, your thoughts on what you've seen so far and how it's shaking out? Maybe not just from the Viking standpoint, but elsewhere. Other rumored games. The kickoff game between, I believe, the Eagles and the Cowboys to kick it all off this season. Just your general thoughts on what you've seen so far.
Yeah, I agree with Will. I feel like the Netflix situation is going to be something that a lot of people forget about, and then Christmas will roll around maybe a week before, and then everyone will start complaining again. But myself included, I think all the million subscription services are getting quite annoying, but nothing you can really do about that. But yeah, the Chargers Vikings game, JJ McCarthy versus Harbaugh, that one will be interesting. A lot of storylines, I guess, to talk about now, but again, it's something that like all this news comes out, and then you just kind of forget about it after a month because the season's still so far away.
Well, there's
Joe,
going to be some crazy stretch of extremely difficult games in here. I mean, the rumors that we've seen don't include, the Packers, the Commanders, the Ravens. The Bengals could be back on top again this year if they're healthy. I mean, the Cowboys might be good. It's kind of a terrifying schedule when you really start to break it down. And we're going to find out tonight at 7:00 just how many of these extremely tough opponents are packed together. And I've got a feeling there's going to be probably a couple of stretches where you've got 4 out of 5 games where it's like, oh my God, toss up kind of stuff against some juggernauts.
well, and we've
Joe,
seen
Joe, do you see what I just threw in the
No.
Slack there?
Oh, Bears
We got-
Vikings week 1. That's
Monday
according
Night
to
Football.
That
Ooh.
allegedly, nothing confirmed until this evening. To be clear,
Right.
after the little Jordan Schultz Thanksgiving mistweet, but yeah, it looks like the JJ McCarthy's first ever NFL game will be at Soldier Field on Monday Night Football against the Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams in Week 1, which is pretty sweet.
Well, you
That's
know
pretty
what?
awesome.
I'd rather
That'll
go
be
to
fun.
Soldier Field in September than November.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Absolutely, yeah, and
Yes.
that is. I think. I mean, it's a tough environment. It'll be absolutely rocking in there. A primetime game, eyes of the world on it. Bears have a Ben Johnson now, a talented roster, but you'd still rather face the Bears in Week 1 than like the Lions.
I also
Oh,
like
yeah.
getting the Bears in the.
That'll be a winnable one
Yeah.
for McCarthy to start out, and a big test, but a winnable test.
I also like getting the Bears in the Ben Johnson era. In his first game, you don't let that team get settled in. They're still trying to figure out what they are, and
Yep.
you get them early on, and you're only adjusting to a new quarterback. Everybody else on the roster is pretty much the same. So by doing the math here on that rumor, we're going to add it to it just in case. Bears on Monday Night Football, Falcons Sunday Night Football, I believe you said, Chargers Thursday Night Football, Lions on Christmas Day, national TV game. There's a lot of national TV games here, guys. This is clearly shaking out that the NFL thinks very highly of the Vikings this season, Joe.
Well, yeah, I mean, Kay Adams is like going all in on the Super Bowl, and I don't blame her for that. She's fallen in love with JJ McCarthy, and we see how that works. But I can't stop myself. But anyway, yeah, it's all primetime, man, and that's good and bad because if you got a lot of primetime games, that means you've got shorter rest. I mean, even 8-10 hours can make a big difference for these guys late in the season. So if they're playing a noon kickoff on a Sunday versus a 7:15 start on a Monday night, I mean that can be a pretty big difference. And then you look at late in the season, that Christmas Day report, if that's true, which there's no reason to doubt it at this point. If the Vikings are playing the Lions on Christmas Day, we already know that they're not part of the Week 16, December 20th Saturday doubleheader. So unless they're playing Thursday night in Week 16, they're likely playing Sunday in Week 16 and then have 4 days rest before Christmas against one of the best teams in the NFL with the division potentially on the line and big time seeding at stake. So it's kind of a blessing and a curse. You get the whole country to see you play. It's fun for us to get the primetime announcers and everything, but a lot of short rests that's going to come into play over the course of this season, and that could be bad, especially. Will, you've talked about this. You've got a Week 6 bye that seems fairly likely at this point. Even Kevin O'Connell's basically asking for it. So if you get the Week 6 bye, you're looking at 10, 11 consecutive games to end the season and not a handful, but maybe 2 or 3 on really short rest.
Yeah, but then you do have like the mini bye after those Thursday games.
Yeah.
Especially going into that Week 18 game where, heck, if you already lock up a playoff spot, you might not have to take that game seriously. We'll see how that shakes out and who they play at that Week 18 game. But having that Christmas Day game, I think might actually prove beneficial heading into the playoffs. You'll get a sort of mini bye going into that stretch run if you were a playoff team. Will.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
that's
just
true.
depends if you can beat the Lions, because that might be a huge game on 3 full days rest. But yeah, if they're in a position where they can win that game, it's at home, which is nice. At least you're not traveling on a short week, which Detroit will be. You can win that game, or if for whatever reason the stakes aren't super high, like maybe Detroit is already a couple games up and the Vikings are going to be a wild card team, or maybe the Vikings are like 14-1 at that point, and the Lions are 4 games back.
14-1 seems legit, yeah.
And JJ McCarthy just never loses, then that would be then that little mini bye after that would be helpful going into Week 18. But yeah, I mean, I think are we up to like 6 national TV standalone games if you're counting the NFL Network early morning international ones?
Yeah, if you're counting the international games, you're up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tony, how many more do we expect? I mean, you look at the rest of the schedule. There's good shouts for the Seahawks being a national TV game with the Sam Darnold situation. You've got the Ravens who are good, the Commanders who are great, the Eagles defending Super Bowl champs. There's really good shouts for the rest of the schedule to have a number more national TV games. How many more are we expecting, Tony?
Yeah, I mean, that is interesting because if you looked before, I guess, any of these rumors started, some of these standalone games would have been like the Bears, and it's a divisional game, but the Falcons definitely would have been one of the last ones I think most people would have picked to be a primetime game. So it's definitely interesting. I mean, the Vikings obviously are one of the more consistently good teams in the NFL. So it's easy to put them in those spots because they're not going to be at the bottom of the standings. So I don't know that maybe they get a couple more in there. It seems like it'd be a lot if there's many more, but
yeah, there'll only be so many. I think you could see maybe 1 or 2 more because you're not going to get, if we've got 2 Thursday games there, they're not going to get another one. Maybe another Sunday. I think the most would be like 2 Mondays. So we'll see. But I think the league is already saying, based on these rumors we're seeing, the Vikings are more of a draw and are more intriguing than your typical team that has an 8.5 Vegas win total right down the middle. Like with JJ McCarthy being the storyline there of him missing the whole year, and the Vikings being like, yeah, we'll let Sam Darnold, this quarterback who helped us win 14 games, walk, and we'll go with McCarthy, who a lot of people know from winning a championship with Michigan. And then the star power, Justin Jefferson, the defenses that they've had in recent years, the way that they went out this offseason and upgraded in the trenches. Kevin O'Connell being the reigning coach of the year. I think they are a legit draw for national NFL fans, even though there's kind of a wide range of potential outcomes this season with so much uncertainty at quarterback.
Well, I'll say this too, guys. When you look at the 5 so far, I wouldn't be shocked if there's even a handful more. I Googled it, and I don't know how accurate this is. This is the AI overview that I got, but I asked, what's the most nationally televised games an NFL team has played in a season? And it's 12. Apparently, the Cowboys and the Chiefs had 12 in 2023. So, and I'm guessing that includes.
I wonder if that counts the 325
that's
like
what
Fox
I'm thinking.
game.
Yeah,
or
that's
whatever.
what I'm thinking, and that would make sense. But if you've got 5 already that are, either international or night games or Christmas Day game, whatever, that's pretty wild, man. So, and if you get some 3 o'clock, 3:25 kickoffs, that counts as like the national audience because the whole country gets the game. Yeah, you could be looking at double digits this year, and that would be pretty crazy. Also, if JJ McCarthy gets injured, we're going to get flexed out of about half of them. So, get ready.
Yeah, or even if McCarthy it doesn't really hit the ground running, I think that would maybe be possible too. But
hey, don't count out Max Brosmer stepping in as the backup.
There we go.
Hey, you want to know something? I kind of got some some good butterflies about Brosmer's potential. I mean, it just seems like he's kind of got the it factor. Not like Tom Brady it factor, but like,
Brock Purdy maybe.
no, not even. Well, I wouldn't even go that high. I was gonna say like quality backup, it factor. You know, rather than giving somebody the ick factor, he's got more of the it factor, and I really like that about him. And I think remember when he transferred from New Hampshire to the Vikings. I was writing stories about all these, pro football scouts and stuff saying this guy's got it. This guy's got the arm, And now we're starting to see that Kevin O'Connell and company, they think so too. So will he make the team? I don't know. I kind of think he will. It's going to be JJ McCarthy, Brett Rippon, and then I can see Brosmer sliding in there and being QB3 on a lot of weeks, the emergency backup.
He's the next Chase Daniel.
I like that. And Chase Daniel will whoop Minnesota's ass in a backup quarterback role. As he has.
All right, let's go around the horn here. When you look at the opponents that the Vikings have this season, Joe, I'll start with you, then Will, then Tony. Your most anticipated game. I don't care if it's division or not. Your most anticipated game that you can't wait to watch this season.
I was texting my wife. You asked me about the most anticipated game?
Yes, that you can't wait to watch this season.
I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh game, just because of the Aaron Rodgers factor. I think that's going to be fascinating. You get Vikings Rodgers again this year with Pittsburgh after
Vikings Rodgers overseas again.
Well, he was so excited to come and play in purple and gold, and then he kind of got a reality check. About he's going to be so motivated for that game to show even his good buddy Kevin O'Connell how good he still is, and he's got some pieces now that are really dangerous if he ends up in Pittsburgh. So I think that's going to be probably the most, highly anticipated game of the season. And there's a lot of them out there. The Baltimore game, I think, is going to have big time hype too, depending on when that's played. But I'm really looking forward to seeing Aaron Rodgers kind of seek a little bit of validation, as he's one to seek in that matchup in week number 4.
Will?
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones. The Ireland game Joe just mentioned. Ravens, it'll be Lamar Jackson's first time ever playing at US Bank Stadium. Seahawks and Chargers will be juicy storylines with Darnold and then with McCarthy, Harbaugh. I think mine is just going to be the Eagles at US Bank Stadium. You go against what am I trying to say? You want to be the champs, you got to beat the champs, something like that. The defending Super Bowl champions will be in Minneapolis, and that's not the first time that's ever happened. But Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown and Devontae Smith going against this Brian Flores defense. Cooper DeJean, the great white hope at cornerback, going against Justin Jefferson, perhaps.
How many fair catch signs do we see at US Bank Stadium?
Oh, that's a good angle too.
Oh, I got one too. Over under on the number of foot-long Foles jerseys we get.
Yep, that's
how many?
BDN. That'll be a good one too. No, I'm looking forward to that Eagles game. Sneaky other one. I'm just gonna keep ripping them. Another one is the Commanders. Jaden Daniels, JJ McCarthy. I think that'll be really fun too. Daniels looks like the absolute truth through 1 year. So
he's a bit of a mama's boy, though. Mom won't let him off the leash.
I'm just gonna put it out there for the Vikings PR. If they wanna take this idea, go for it. The person who should blow the Gallahorn for that Eagles game should absolutely be PJ Fleck, with Cooper DeJean in the house.
Oh, that's pretty good.
You know what? I kind of like that. Yeah,
that'd be good.
Do you think Cooper DeJean still cares about that after winning a Super Bowl?
Oh yeah, he definitely.
He's an Iowa guy. He's bitter.
He's bringing it up. Why wouldn't he care about
it? Sure. Okay.
You know how much time he sat staring into a cornfield thinking about that?
All right, Tony, your most anticipated game.
Yeah, I guess I'll take the layup and say Lions on Christmas Day. NFC North favorite on Christmas Day on Netflix. Probably the most viewers they're going to have all year. And, yeah, I was hating on all of the subscription services and stuff. But I remember last year the Netflix broadcast was, I guess, somewhat entertaining. They had a lot of stuff going on.
Didn't they have, like 20 people on the broadcast team from, studio and
Yeah, they had like
sideline.
2 different halftime shows and
Yeah.
just the most over-the-top broadcast of all time. So I guess it'll be something to distract me from hanging out with my family all day. So that'll be fun. But
And the defending champion Wolves will probably be playing that day too. So
Dude,
that'll be a big
yeah, we are
game
going.
for Minnesota fans.
We're going on a historic run right now, and this is going to be generational, once in a lifetime kind of success, once in multiple lifetimes, where the Wolves win the NBA championship, the Vikings win the Super Bowl, and then next year,
Twins are winning the World Series too.
You on crack. But then the Vikings win the Super Bowl next year, and then we go into this amazing roll where the Wolves are threatening to go back to back. All while the Minnesota Wild, with all this juicy salary cap, put together a roster that legit makes a run at the Stanley Cup final next season. If you are a Minnesota sports fan, you are about to go into paradise mode. Not an underground bunker paradise mode, but like joyous celebration, plan the freaking parade mode. This is going to be a legendary run of like a year or two or more. We are entering dynasty mode. You think Boston had it good with the Bruins and the Celtics and the Patriots and the Red Sox?
We haven't even won one.
We are about to go.
Let's win one first, and then we can talk like this.
Nico Medved, Dayton, 11 seed, Chancey Willis Jr.,
Hell,
Bobby
maybe
Durkin.
The Gophers baseball team.
Then they make a run to the Elite Eight.
yeah, I was gonna say, when's the first Final Four, Joe?
Yeah, that ain't ever gonna happen. That happened 30 years ago, and that's the last time. That's gonna be like one of those volcanoes that go silent, and they're like, well, it could erupt again. The big earthquake's coming. No, the New Madrid fault line's not going to go off, just like the Gophers aren't going to go to the Final Four.
Gophers football going to make an Indiana-like run this year, 11-1, make the playoff?
I saw somebody called
Drake Lindsay is the truth.
Yeah, I think he is actually. But I saw somebody whose name is @CF Budge on Twitter. He has like 11,000 followers, or she had him. But he has the Gophers 27th in his way too early preseason top 25.
You heard it here first from CF Budge.
Yes.
As the resident Loons broadcaster, I'll note that the Loons are pretty dang good this year, and they could go on to win the title as well, because we're throwing out random titles, so I'm just going to do that here.
Yeah, pissing off David Beckham. Dave, this is great.
Soft ass Dave. Come on.
Soft Dave.
All right, since we're making predictions and Joe's all hyped up, let's go around and look at the schedule. We don't have the full schedule, but we know the opponents. What's the win total? What's the record at the end of the season?
Hang on.
Oh, we're doing this?
Joe, you take some time, because we know yours is going to be the most outlandish.
Well, just let me go through it quick.
I'll go. I like 10-7 right now.
Oh my God.
Let me remind you, the Vegas total is 8.5.
Ooh.
It is rare that you go 6.5, 7.5 wins over the total like they did last year.
They're as accurate as the political polls. It's all BS.
I would disagree with that, but
I think 10-7, considering I think McCarthy's going to be good. I don't think this is going to be the best year of his career, which is generally the case with young players. They get better. I think he's going to be good. The roster is absolutely loaded. I just think there might be some early ups and downs with McCarthy, and the schedule, as we've said, looks pretty tough with Baltimore and Cincy and Philly and Washington and 2 Green Bay, 2 Detroit, 2 Chicago.
By the way, I don't remember
road teams
a home
are mostly
schedule.
Bad, but
I don't remember a home schedule as stacked as this one.
The home schedule is
stacked. Home schedule
is crazy. The road teams all kind of stink.
That's true. Tony?
Yeah, I was pessimistic heading into the year last year, and I guess I'll stick with the same. I'll say 9-8. I say they get over the win total, miss the playoffs. JJ McCarthy looks good, but it's a tough schedule, and I think they probably drop a handful of those, maybe some close one-score games, a little bit of regression to the mean maybe. But I mean, I could see them going 10-7, 11-6, but I'll go on the lower end and say 9-8.
Also, part of the reason why I like to have Joe go last is because I know your guys' like middle of the road predictions may add a win or two to his predictions because he just has to.
No, it's just I don't deal. I'm not reactionary. I'm proactionary. I proactive. I do my own thinking. I don't. My thoughts aren't based on other people's.
They're not
I
influenced,
come up with my own views.
other than CF Budge, of course.
CF Budge, I'm just stating facts that I see on Twitter. That's all. But when you look at the home schedule, 8 games: Bears, Lions, Packers, Eagles, Commanders, Falcons, Ravens, Bengals. I mean, you're playing Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts, Jordan Love, Jared Goff, Caleb Williams. That's really tough. I'm going to say they go 6-2 in the home games. I think there's room for a couple of losses there, and only because J.J. McCarthy's a rookie, and there's going to be some growing pains naturally. But then the road schedule, you've got 9 games, but 2 are international. I think the Vikings win both international games against the Browns and the Steelers. That leaves road games against the Bears, Lions, Packers, Cowboys, Giants, Seahawks, and Chargers. How do they do in those remaining 7 games? I think they win at Soldier Field. I think they lose at Detroit. I think they win at Lambeau. The Cowboys are always overrated. The Giants aren't quite ready. The Seahawks, that'll be a tough game on the road, but the Vikings know how to play Sam Darnold. And then the Chargers game is going to be really tough on short rest, most likely. So I will say they lose. I'm going to go 13-4 this season. 13-4.
I like it.
12-5 to 13-4. And you know what? Honestly, probably 12-5 is more realistic. But we're talking about a Kay Adams juggernaut here. We're not talking about some little Tecmo Super Bowl bullshit. This is the real deal. So you don't mess with a guy who wins double-digit football games every year unless his starting quarterback goes down with an injury. This is Kevin O'Connell we're talking about. The man knows how to win. If you wouldn't question Andy Reid, you wouldn't question Bill Belichick unless it's about a girlfriend, and you should not question Kevin O'Connell.
Well, they have a couple of Super Bowls, Joe.
As we will soon.
I will say, I don't think it's crazy. Last year, I thought Joe was crazy when he said whatever he said.
I think he had 14 last year.
Yeah, this year, I like the Vikings are so loaded on both sides of the ball that if McCarthy is like the 10th best quarterback in the league, they are going to be in every single game with how good they are in the trenches, defensively, skill positions. And yeah, Kevin O'Connell's won 13 plus games in 2 of his first 3 years. So I can absolutely see it happening. I think they have a wide range. I think, the floor is probably like 7-10 or something if McCarthy just isn't it. Which I don't think is going to happen.
He's a psychopath. He's it. He's a true Tom Brady psychopath.
I'm with Kay Adams. I'm all in. I think McCarthy is just, you listen to him speak and you, for whatever reason, you just believe that he's going to be a really good quarterback. And so I'm going 10-7, but I can absolutely see more than that in year one.
Joe, who's more accurate, Kay Adams or Vegas betting odds?
Or CF Budge?
I think CF Budge is way up there, actually. And then that nerd schedule account that's breaking all these schedule leaks. How the hell they're doing that? I don't know who that is. That's impressive. But Kay Adams is definitely more accurate than Vegas. I think she has some more inside information.
What was that?
That's how we're gonna end the show. I got
inside
nothing.
Information? What?
I got nothing. All right, subscribe to the channel.
I'm out.
I'm uncomfortable. Subscribe to the channel. Helps us get found. Notifies you every time we post a new video. Also, go read all their work over at Vikings on SI. We've got a schedule rumors tracker. Yeah, great shirt, by the way. We've got a Vikings schedule rumor tracker going on over on Vikings on SI, covering the Wolves playoff run on Timberwolves on SI. Gophers, Tony's got all your tiers for the off-season rankings lists going on over at Gophers on SI, and we're covering the Twins over on Twins on SI. They're doing things.
They're about to start a doubleheader in like 3 minutes.
Just call
Will's about the only person excited for the Twins, so he'll be covering it all over at Twins on SI.
McCrusher, 3 for 4, 3 ribbies, a double off the wall last night. Come on.
Yep.
Get him up here.
Sign him. Bring him up. All right, guys, thanks for stopping by. We'll talk to you tomorrow with another topic.